Welcome to Buzzy Bees. Today, let us visit the Mysore Palace. The Mysore Palace, also known as Ambavilas Palace, is a historical palace and a royal residence. It is located in Mysore, Karnataka. It is used to be the official residence of the Wadiyar dynasty and the seat of the Kingdom of Mysore. The palace is in the center of Mysore and faces the Chamundi Hills eastward. The history of the Mysore Palace is an interesting one, and its construction and renovations over 5 centuries tell many tales of India's complex and intriguing past. The old fort, or Puragiri as it was known earlier, faces eastwards towards Chamundi Temple. The old fort's first palace was constructed by Yaduraya, the founder of the Wadiyar dynasty in the 14th century. Since then, the palace has been demolished and reconstructed several times over the centuries. The construction of this old fort was completed in CE 1574 by Chamaraja Wadiyar IV, Mysore's 7th king. But the palace was struck by lightning and destroyed according to Shriman Maharaja's Vamshavali. Ranadira Kandirava Narasaraja Wadiyar, the 12th king of the Wadiyar dynasty, rebuilt the palace in 1638. However, the palace was destroyed by fire through another freak accident in 1897 during the wedding of Princess Jayalakshamani. The old palace, also called the Wooden Palace, caught fire and burned down to ashes. The current structure that we know as the Mysore Palace was constructed between 1897 and 1912 after the old palace burnt down. The Queen Regent Kempananjammani Vanivilasa Sannidhana and Maharaja Krishnaraja Wadiyar IV commissioned the British architect Henry Irwin to build the new palace. P. Raghavulu Naidu, an executive engineer in the Mysore Palace division, oversaw the construction. The British architect Henry Irwin visited Delhi, Madras, and Calcutta and conducted elaborate architectural studies to design the new palace. The construction of Mysore Palace was completed in 1912 and cost approximately 42 lakhs. Though the palace was completed, the fort continued to be renovated and beautified. In 1940, under the reign of Maharaja Jayachamarajendra Wadiyar, it was further expanded. It was during this renovation that the present Darbar Hall wing was added. The history of Mysore Palace can also be visited through its architecture. The Mysore Palace is built using stone and marble in the Indo-Saracenic style. The architecture boasts a blend of Hindu, Mughal, Rajput and Gothic styles due to its numerous renovations. The three-story stone structure has dark pink domes, turrets, expansive arches and colonnades and a large geometrically laid out garden. The palace also has a 5-story tower that is 145 feet high with a gold-plated dome. 2 Darbar halls, courtyards, embellished mahogany gates and the royal family's living quarters are also a part of the palace. The Mysore Palace also has 12 temples constructed during various periods by the Wadiyar kings. The palace has 4 main entrances. The east gate, also called Jaya Martanda, is in the front gate and only open during Dasara and only for dignitaries. Similarly, Varaha, the west entrance, is also opened only during Dasara festivities. The south entrance, called Balarama, is open to the general public. The north gate is called Jayarama. The Mysore kingdom's emblem and coat of arms are inscribed on the entrance gate and arch. The Wadiyar dynasty, being great patrons of fine arts, employed the finest craftsmen to work on the palace. One of the most notable works of art is the exquisite sculpture of the goddess Gajalakshmi and her elephants that sits atop the central arch. The palace cellar is rumored to have several secret tunnels which lead to different palaces. One of these tunnels is rumored to lead to Tipu Sultan's summer palace in Srirangapatna. As impressive as the structure and exteriors of the palace are, the interior is even more breathtaking. The vast Darbar Hall, the beautiful peacock-themed Kalyana Mandapa, The Dolls Pavilion and Museum draw thousands of visitors annually. The ornately carved ceiling and beautifully sculpted and carved blue and gold pillars of the Darbar Hall are a sight to behold. The floral mandalas, the beautiful paintings of the Dasara procession, and the stained glass windows are equally breathtaking. The painting of the Dasara procession is painted in a way that it seems to move towards the viewers wherever they stand. The museum houses solid silver doors, the sword of Tipu Sultan, and several paintings by Raja Ravi Varma, weapons and cannons. Also on display are several chandeliers imported from Czechoslovakia. The main attractions, however, are the wooden elephant, Howdah, decorated with 84 kgs of gold, and the Chinnada Simhasana, the jewel encrusted golden throne of the Mysore royals, which originally belonged to the Vijayanagar kings, is said to have once belonged to the Pandavas. The palace and its inhabitants still play a pivotal role in the life of Kannadigas, especially the people of Mysore. The royals of Mysore and their people have a long tradition of celebrating the Dasara festival with great pomp and grandeur. The annual Dasara celebration, also known as Nadahabba, is when the Mysore palace comes alive and is one of the best occasions to visit the city and see it in all its glory. The festivities observed for 10 days include a special Darbar. During the Darbar, the reigning king grants an audience to members of the royal family, special invitees, officials, and the masses. The palace hosts athletic competitions, music and dance concerts through the 10 days of the Dasara festival. On Vijayadashami, the 10th day, a procession of decorated elephants called the Jumbo Savari is held on the streets of the city. The lead elephant carries an idol of the goddess Chamundeshwari inside a golden howdah. The procession also includes colorful tableaux, dance groups, tribal artists, music bands, decorated horses and camels. The Jumbo Savari culminates at Banni Mantap with a puja to worship the Banni tree. A torchlight parade is conducted at the Bannimanta parade grounds after the Jumbo Savari. While the Jumbo Savari, the Dasaras exhibition, and other events are beautiful, the sight of Mysore Palace lit by 97,000 light bulbs is the one that will take your breath away. The history of Mysore Palace has been an eventful and interesting one. The palace has stood the test of time and still stands tall today. Every wall and pillar here has a story to tell, and it is on us to preserve this magnificent monument from the past for generations to come. The sound and light show at the Mysore Palace tells the historical account of the 600-year Wadiyar dynasty. This spectacular dramatic rendition in male, female voices along with the song and music narrates the grand history of Mysore Palace and its rulers set against the larger perspective of regional historical events. Previously, the show used to be in Kannada only, but since January 2018, it has been played in English as well. After the light and sound show, the palace is briefly illuminated for 5 minutes. The story of Mysore Palace today. Today, Mysore Palace is managed by the government of Karnataka while it continues to retain its designation as the royal seat of the Maharajas of Mysore. The grand edifice preserves various valuable possessions of the Wadiyars, which includes souvenirs, jewelry, royal costumes, and paintings. Though the palace is open to the public, the erstwhile royal family still continues to live in a portion of it. There is also a museum housed within the walled complex called the Residential Museum, which incorporates some of these living quarters. No wonder the palace counts among the top historical places to visit in Mysore. The age-old Mysore Dasara festival is celebrated here in its full glory. Over 6 million visitors come here annually to experience the rich history of this magnificent monument. In addition to the grandeur of the structure, the light and sound show and the illumination in the evenings are major crowd pullers. Lesser known facts about Mysore Palace. The current palace was constructed over a period of 15 years. The Mysore Palace is one of the few tourist places in India that has introduced braille guides for visually challenged tourists. The golden ambari, which was used by kings, is now used for placing goddess Durga's idol during the Dasara procession. This is the history of Mysore Palace. Listening to the history of the palace and visiting the palace will make you understand the palace and will make you enjoy the visit. So, get a tour of the palace yourself. Didn't we enjoy viewing the beautiful views of the palace? That's all. So bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, comment and subscribe. Thank you.